square. You seen the new yellow square? Let's talk about this.
My name is Elijah, from London, East London specifically. I'm a writer, DJ.
If you listen to the noise, you might lose your bearings. Pay attention, square two.
What is outdated? Most of it. Like the idea that you put song on the internet, you build following, you sell tickets, you make money, and that's a career for life. That, for most 99% of people, that doesn't exist and never did. That's why there are complete outliers. So most of the time when we're talking about successful people or people with successful ideas, they are deviating from what everyone else does. They're not just doing what everyone else does better than everyone else. Like most people are not that smart. If you're talking about the 99%, most people probably want to have an income from something that is not connected to their creativity, spend enough time doing their creative work, maybe occasionally make money, do gigs, have some sort of audience for it, but not be completely reliant on it. Like everyone in this community likes to use the word sustainable. It's like, well, that is sustainable because you can never run out of money because you have a job, and then you can produce all the things that you want to produce.
Alright, so look at your weekly screen.
I don't think it's like breaking through without it. It's like you'll just do something different. Like if you want to build a following on social media, then you'll build a following on social media. Your life is going to be orientated around that. Whereas if you decide to go a different path and take the downsides of that path, then you have a different career, you have a different lifestyle, you have a different way of setting up your life. Yeah, there are kind of rites of passage. You usually see like a certain DJs that come from London, they usually would have been on Rinse or NTS. They'll usually have like agency on here and they'll usually get press on RA. But like that's one way. Like you don't, I think people have over-indexed on that way. There can be many ways, there can be 1,000 different ways, and it's more likely that someone breaks through a completely different way than the one where it's like completely crowded. There's like literally a whole army of people trying to win that way. Whereas if you're just slightly to the left of that, it's easier to cut through. I mean, for the most part, they just got to have functional businesses, and then everything else is the bonus. Like in the UK or in London specifically, like the regulatory like kind of behaviors of the government and the councils are completely against you. Like they don't want you to have a bar, they don't want you to have a club. So if you can break through that barrier and you put on loads of different kinds of things that are not like necessarily your taste or like in your like universe, that's fine, as long as again like you find space for the things you actually want to do. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, why is this thing at that club? Hey man, like people going to a venue and enjoying themselves. I don't think we need to, again, in 2025, post-pandemic, post everything, I don't think we should be policing the taste of a particular venue unless those things start to overlap. I don't want to hear heavy metal at techno night or techno at heavy metal night, right? But I don't mind them sharing the venue. This makes sense. Yeah.
See, in life, moderation is key.
The idea that you should go to a record shop, or you should go to Barcelona, or you should go to Rio, or you should go to Tokyo, and that being like a bit of a filter is not a bad thing, you know? But I guess now it's getting harder and harder to do because people just put things on YouTube, and fine, I'm not against that. But if we're going to use that mechanism, using it for, and actually like getting some of these artists paid, you know? So like a lot of the people that, you know, the Crate Digger community dig, never made any money off their music. When you see their records for like €100 or something, it's like, well, can we find that money back to them somehow? So again, try not to think of it in the extremes. Like, yeah, a 1% person is gonna be able to sell thousands of records on Bandcamp. A 1% person is gonna be able to just upload songs off their laptop and go to #1. But the majority, you're just, this thing is just a constant flow of experimenting. Now everyone has a microphone, so I guess the cost of being brave is on everyone. It's not just like on artists to speak up. So things that I say, anyone could say. I'm not given the right because I'm an artist. I can speak freely because I choose to speak freely. But if you're not willing to sacrifice anything, then who cares what you say? You say what you want to say, and if it costs you money, then that's part of the the sacrifice.
Make plans and assume that things won't change. Every day things keep renewing. Too much fear.
You know, thinking about just starting from zero, like maybe I just wouldn't rebuild something like this. I'll just do something that is a bit more focused in my area, very local, that is not trying to speak to the world in a way that I was doing before. So it was like the only way to communicate. Whereas now, I would just directly speak to who I was trying to reach.